What's up gang, Saint here, and as you can see, I've got a big cheesy smile on my face because I've just finished watching, for about the 5th time, the trailer for the next generation of Pokemon. And even though there's some things that I'm sure we're going to be complaining about, let's just say, on the whole, it was very, very positive, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Let's break it down, start to finish, everything that we learned in the official trailer. So, first thing we can see, straight away, a little town, Route 1 here, which makes me think that this is going to be the starter town. Windmills there. Now, the first thing I thought when I saw this cottage was sort of southern, like Devon seaside cottages, that sort of little quaint thing. But I think you can see from the scenery around it, once we get out of here, that we're looking more at a countryside sort of area. As we walk down here, look, you can see the mountains there, hills, whatever you want to call them, and also a big lake. Now, is this sort of the Lake District kind of based area? Don't know, not sure, but it's pretty. It looks beautiful. That's all. What more is there to say about that? Also, some foresty areas. What I like about that is, obviously, I mean, what country hasn't got foresty areas? But I kind of like the idea of, as I live in Mansfield, which is very close to Sherwood Forest, I quite like the idea of a Robin Hood sort of thing going on. I'd love it. There's nothing in the trailer to suggest it, but I'd love it if they sort of played off of that, because that's one of England's biggest sort of folklore figures. I'd love it if they made a Pokemon that was based on him, or maybe, I don't know, a trainer, a gym leader based on him, something like that. That would be absolutely awesome. I'm stretching a bit there, though. Next up, we're looking at, obviously, looks a bit like a London. The main reason you say that is because of the big tower here. Looks a bit like Big Ben. It sort of looks like it could be like a post-industrial revolution London, with the kind of rusty iron on the bridge. Little train going over there. And as we get on a little bit further, you can see sort of what looks like it's a steam-operated mechanic of some sort, steam-operated water, or maybe a water mill. Could be water spray off of the river, to be fair, if this is a river. But either way, it sort of harks back to that industrial area of London. Just a little mountain shot there as well. Back on the lakes. So this is where we first start seeing what we could sort of think about as the features of the game. And some good features for hardcore fans that have been waiting to get some of the core RPG elements back into the Pokemon games after Let's Go. Couple of things to point out. First of all, there's no follower Pokemon here, and as we're about to get into a battle, I think we can safely say that we have got Pokemon on the team, and therefore possibly the follower Pokemon may have been scrapped. There's a little bit of something a little bit later on that maybe contradicts that, but we'll see as we get to it. So as we carry on, we can see random encounter in the grass, and of course it's got to be Pikachu because mascot. So another good thing, random encounters in the grass are back. No more overworld sprites, which I was always happy with overworld sprites, but I am glad they've come back to. I'm glad that's staying in Let's Go, and for the main core RPGs, they've come back to what we all know and love, the random encounters in the grass. What you can also see from the battle and the way that the capture mechanics work is that we are back to battling wild encounters, and we're back to catching them without the flicky or the throwy crap that you got on the Switch versions of Let's Go. Battling looks good. What I really liked, I'm just going to go back a little bit, was the battle scenes in the backgrounds here. Some beautiful ones. Let's just wait a little bit. Here we go. Good looking battle scenes. Good looking shading on the characters. Really enjoying that. Good looking effects as well. I'll tell you what I will point out actually, if we just go back to Pikachu here, you can just see the shading on this Pikachu and the outline of Pikachu as well. In fact, let's go back a little bit further and just have a look at Pikachu close up. Here. So you can also see that compared to the Let's Go Pikachu, which we can get up on the screen, there it is. There's an outline on this one, and there's also a lot more shading. It looks a lot more sort of anime style, rather than the modelly, plasticky Let's Go style, which I still thought was pretty, but this looks like, I think, a little bit more realistic. The next thing I want to talk about then is this little Munchlax here. I don't know whether this has been purposely done, but to me, this is them going, oh, actually, maybe there will be some Pokemon in the overworld that can follow you around. Because why else do they put this shot in? It's a shot of a living room. There's not much to see there. There's just a Munchlax sat there on the floor. And then the main character's just sat there looking at it. What is the point of that? It doesn't tell you anything. So it's either one of two things. Either it's there to trick you into thinking that maybe, or to keep us hoping, that maybe there's going to be some Pokemon in the overworld followers and stuff like that. Or it's just completely pointless. I don't see any other reason for it to be there than to tease us that there could be overworld Pokemon. So that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. You can think what you want of that. This is beautiful looking. I've no idea where it refers to or what it could be about, the particular town, but I'm sure somebody can tell me. What I'm interested in is this. Being from a mining town, it's such a cool little piece of British history, mining. And obviously it happens all over the world, but there's such a culture here still from in mining towns. The pride of sort of being a miner, being from a mining town, all that sort of thing. In Mansfield, this was a big mining area. So there are people's families for generations that were miners. And the fact that they've sort of brought mining into the landscape of the game, I think that's really cool. I think it's really relevant. What I also like is this, which is another little but subtle culture nod towards a well-known British landmark, but not something that's particularly prominent, and that is hill figures, which are basically, well, I mean, they don't have to be ancient. You could make a hill figure right now if you wanted to, but they're ancient figures that are cut into hills, and basically they cut deep enough into the hill to take away the ground from above it to get to the geological features underneath, such as chalk or clay or whatever, and then they cut it out into a pattern of whatever. In this case, it's I've seen some people saying that they think these little things here, I'm pointing at it as if you can see, that these little things here might possibly, do you mind? These little things here might be like Meltans, and that this is going to be something to do with Meltan as well. I don't see the resemblance myself, but let's put it out there because you never know. I don't know better than anybody else. So either way, though, again, it's a really good looking landscape. I really like that. Beautiful. I'm guessing this is walking into the Pokemon League or something. Either that or there's going to be some sort of Pokemon sporting event, Olympics, something like that. Because clearly that was our character walking into a big stadium, and it seemed to have sporting clothes on. So I have had some comments on videos that have said they hope that something like that comes back. So I'd very much like to see that. Now we get to the not actual game footage area of the game where we're going to start seeing the starters. Again, another little steam engine sort of thing going on there, and a Big Ben looking motherfucker in the background. And we get to see the starters. So first of all, little fire bunny. He looks cool. Leaves the grass on fire. I don't really understand why he looks like he's got a plaster on his nose, but I don't know. Maybe that's just something that I'm missing. But that seems a bit pointless. But other than that, I quite like the look of him. Next up, we're going to see our little water guy. Oh, I like the fact he's gone from invisible to visible, which makes him look a bit lizardy. Which I think actually the Pokédex entry says he's a lizard. So that does make sense. And the first thing I actually thought when I saw him coming out was Ghost. I thought maybe it's a Ghost water type and it's going to transform like that. But yeah, I would say it's probably going to get the secondary type of lizard. Lizard? Poison or something like that. Or psychic, if it's going to be a lizard. That seems to make sense. As for the bunny, actually, just looking at it, especially with it having these fire feet, you would think it might become a firefighting type. Now, I know that's been done, but that's just what it looks like to me. Firefighting, sort of a flaming kick or something like that. I don't know. And then obviously we come to the best starter, because the grass starter is always the best starter. Sobble. That's the name. I'm glad I've remembered it. And he's a little wimp. And the grass starter, Grookey, the one whose name I can remember. Because he's a little grass monkey. And he's a mischievous little guy. Look at him, he's a good boy. Yeah, that's my favourite of the three. I'm lying, I don't always prefer the grass starter, but this one I really like. I like the little barf, like through the hair sort of thing that's going on, even though it's a leaf. Yeah, the dude's just cute. What is not to love about Grookey? Now, as secondary type for him, I don't know, maybe they'll go pure grass. The fact that he's sort of climbing up the chimney makes me think maybe like toxins, poison, I don't know. What would you like to see from a secondary grass type? Let me know. The only other thing I thought about that too could be that the reason it's climbing and getting higher and higher is because when it evolves it's going to be a flying type, so maybe we're going to see some grass flying type. That'd be okay, I suppose. Not the most powerful thing, but you don't know what kind of moveset it's going to have. You don't know how flying type's going to change in this generation, so could be a good thing. And that is all we get until, of course, we get to the names, Sword and Shield. And I'm quite happy with them. I actually think Sword and Shield is a damn sight better than the majority of suggestions that have been going around online. Was things like Flora and Fauna, Earth and Sky, I and E, like crap like that, Love and War, Chaos and Order. I quite like Sword and Shield, especially for a British based game. To be fair, I bet that they're going to end up going with King Arthur and something like that. I bet that's the route they're going down with that. And that's a thought I've only just had, and I'm sure somebody else has already had that thought before me because I'm stupid and other people are clever, but that's a good thought and I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with that as my idea. And that's the end of the trailer. What's not to love? What's not to love about it? Brand new graphics, back to the old capture methods. I'm sure the battles will have all the meta back with the abilities and held items and all that kind of thing. I'm super excited, and I really hope that what they do is take those amazing sort of British mythology and legends that exist. Like, I'm talking about things like in Scotland with like Loch Ness Monster, because obviously why not base a Pokemon on that? If you're talking about Wales, you can talk about dragons, and obviously all the amazing landscape there. You can have like Ben Nevis, you can have, for England, you can have Robin Hood, you can King Arthur, all sorts of mythological things that you can bring up and make a story around, build a story around. I saw in the run-up to this a lot of people saying that they didn't like the idea of having a British-themed Pokemon region, and I just thought, why not? There's so much embedded mythological culture. I know people see Britain now and don't think it's a very cultural place, but that's because we've got a big mix of lots of different cultures, so there's not really a prominent culture, but there is culture. There's so much hidden history that people don't really think about or know about that you can draw from for one of these games, and I think it looks like they're doing a really good job of it. What more is it to say? What is there not to be happy about? It's good. Well, I hope you enjoyed the trailer as much as I did. I'm really looking forward to this new edition of Pokemon Shield and Pokemon Sword, set in the Galar region. I didn't even get really much chance to talk about the region, but maybe we'll have another video where we get the map up and explore it close, in detail, have a look at all the little different towns that are in it and work out what we think it's all based on. But thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you please leave a like, comment, subscribe for more content like this. Let me know who's your starter and are you excited for the next generation of Pokemon? And if not, why not? What's wrong with you? And I'll see you all next time. Peace.